Hey guys, I'm Amy Rose.
And I'm Alicia.
And we want to make sure you know about our new show, AMCI Indie Spotlight. A new episode drops every Wednesday.
And we have our own channel, youtube.com/AMC Independent, so like and subscribe.
We talk all things indie. Come get on in the conversation with us.
What?
Hey everyone, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus a little bit of insight into what it all means. Joining us, as always, is AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, coming to you live from right here at the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California, and we are so glad you decided to make us part of your day.
Also here, AMC's Christian Harloff.
I can give a what to you, Aussie minx.
What? And also here, AMC's Miri Jetikin.
I mean, how am I supposed to follow that up? I mean, I'm done. Hi.
All right, well, listen, before we get into the movie news stuff, a whole bunch of stuff to cover, but a little bit of housekeeping I want to let you guys know about. This is just for those of you who are regular AMC Movie Talk viewers. If you're new to us, you just might want to tune out for a minute and a half or two. So I wanted to announce today to our regular viewers that my background is that I always get a little unsettled and a little anxious and uneasy when I'm in one place for too long. I start to feel a little bit like I got to move on to something new, and I usually do after every 2 or 3 years. Knowing that, I went and I talked to AMC, and for most of you know who watch the show regularly that I am not on staff at AMC. I'm a contractor per se, that I kind of run this for AMC, but I'm not actually on staff at AMC. Anyway, I went to AMC about a year ago in Kansas, and I let them know that I'm starting to make some decisions about what I'm going to do next, and if they want me to be here longer term, they need to put me on staff. And they said they wanted to do that, and it took them a whole year. But they finally came to me a few weeks ago with a contract offer to come on board and be on board with AMC and stay with AMC. I wasn't necessarily really happy with the offer, so we said we would talk more. And at that time, Ann and I decided, as many of you who follow me on social media know, decided that we would look at other options. We had several offers on the table to go and do different things. AMC came back with another offer, and even though there's some other places that offer me a lot more money, I wanted to announce to everybody today that I have signed on with AMC, and I'm going to be here for the next number of years, hopefully, as we continue to move into phase 3 with everything we're doing at AMC. And the reason I decided to stay, number one, AMC is just one of the most awesome kick-ass companies. I've loved working with them. They are a company of integrity. They let us do everything on AMC movie news with complete autonomy. They let us have complete editorial freedom. No one ever tells us what we can or cannot say, and how many corporations in the world would do that. Also, the second reason I want to stay is because we have simply put together the absolute best team that I will probably ever work with here, and I didn't want to leave that. So thank you so much for your patience, those of you who are following me on various social media channels. I have signed on with AMC. I'm going to be here for a few years, so let the AMC movie news stuff continue. That out of the way, we have a bunch of things that you see here in the sidebar here that are issues, but 2 other major things have happened since we wrote these show notes. Let's start with this one. We've got a title for Star Wars.
Yes.
We thought maybe it would come at some Comic-Con, maybe it would come at some Star Wars celebration. It came via Twitter. The name of the new Star Wars Episode 7 film is The Force Awakens?
Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens. So that is now your title, Star Wars The Force Awakens. That is what's going to be the name of the new thing. So we'd be remiss if we didn't start with Mr. Christian Harloff. Christian, what do you think of the title?
I think that just for today, I want to toot my own horn for a little bit because when we did Jedi Council, and we were talking about when we think we get a title, and everyone's like, "Oh, it'll be Comic-Con next year. It'll be this." I'm like, it makes sense to put it out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think that it was brilliant that they put it out today through a tweet because that means a trailer is coming very soon. And I know that a trailer is done. I've heard that a trailer is done, and I think we're going to get it right before Into the Woods. They also released a trailer for Into the Woods, which we'll talk about as well. Yeah. It's coming soon. What do I think about the actual title? When I first heard it, I did a Yoda. But then I started thinking about it. It makes a lot of sense, especially if, let's say, Luke is going on the run and he hasn't done anything with the Force for a long time. We haven't seen any Sith. It doesn't say the Jedi Awakens. It says the Force. That means Sith. That means Dark Jedi. That means Jedi. So it makes a lot of sense. The Force Awakens. We're going to see a full-fledged, return. In full force, if you will. So I'm very excited for it. I think it makes sense. And I think that people that are skeptical about it, once they see a trailer, albeit a teaser trailer, will be very happy and it'll start to make more sense.
Mary the Jedi, you have thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, what is not to like about The Force Awakening, right? It sounds like a call to arms. It's a call to action. Like you said, things have been quiet for 30 years. Everything's coming up roses. Everything's growing. Everything's shifting and changing. And being a Jedi, I'm a big fan of the Force. So I feel like like you said, Luke, and especially, what I keep thinking of is that picture that came out a little while ago of Luke Skywalker,
all gnarly and stuff,
all gnarly with a beard, and I was thinking how he's kind of wizened and old, and now, like you said, the Force is back, and I can't wait to see the 21st century version of the Force. So
I think you're right. Usually what happens is when a first trailer drops or some announcement comes, that's usually the shifting of the winds to let us know that a trailer is not far on the horizon.
Right. They're opening the promotional floodgates, as
yes,
it were.
They've wrapped production. They're ready to go.
I'm so excited.
I'm not thrilled with the title right now.
You're right. It's a yet thing.
Right now, because you got to get it in context, right? But The Force Awakening, I'm sorry, the Force don't sleep, son. But anyway, but aside from that...
But it takes little cat naps from time to
maybe.
time.
But once we see this trailer and we get a better idea of the context of the film, then maybe we'll go, aha, this name is actually the perfect name for this movie. But I don't have that yet, so I got to be honest and say I'm not thrilled with it. But who cares? Yeah. I mean, we've said this from the beginning, right? Whatever the title is, whether it's something as amazing as The Empire Strikes Back, or something as lame as The Phantom Menace, or, let's face it, A New Hope ain't exactly a great title. Come on, let's be honest, right? Greatest movie of all time, but it's not great.
But it's not a good title.
Who cares? But I'm just so excited that we got a title. Could have been anything.
You also said it the other day when you talked about the wrap party, is that it also makes you realize it's done.
I know.
It's real.
It's real.
There's a title now.
There's a title, and that we're only almost a year out. So once the little teaser, it's just going to be a teaser, then. That's okay.
You can speak to this. I've heard a lot of parents actually in my life say, your wife has the baby, and it's great, but it's once you give the baby the name that suddenly you're actually a dad now.
Yeah.
It's like now this movie's got a name.
Yeah, can't wait.
Am I equating Star Wars to the
Birth of
miraculous life cycle of humanity? Yes, I am. All right, so listen, I'm sure we're going to talk about this title thing on various AMC Movie News programs over the coming, but we got a lot of other stuff to cover. Another thing that dropped before, after we wrote the show notes, is the new, what they are calling the official Hobbit trailer. Battle of the Five Armies has dropped, and I will start on this one. Hot effing damn. I loved this trailer. I love it. This was the first trailer to me that felt like, and rightfully so, because now we are ramping up to when we get into Lord of the Rings, right? Mm-hmm. This trailer to me is the most one that felt like a Lord of the Rings film.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed the first two Hobbit films. I think they're great because you had to understand these are different stories than the Lord of the Rings films. But now we're moving into the era, sort of Lord of the Rings and the events that set up Lord of the Rings. And to see this, if you're going to call a movie Battle of the Five Armies, you got to pull out all the stops.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, in the last Hobbit film, that water barrel scene is one of the best action sequences I think I've seen in the last 2 or 3 years. And what Peter Jackson did in Return of the King with monstrous, huge battle sequences, now we see this trailer and we're getting glimpses of what we're going to get. There are those rumors going around, remember they're rumors, but these rumors are going around that final battle scene is going to be 45 minutes long. And all I can do, I can't say what I can do, but seriously, I'm excited. Yeah. And I watched this trailer, the dialogue felt powerful, the visuals felt great. I love that they are not feeding it though on just the visual special effects and the action. It's also going to be hooked in a deep, dramatic narrative with the whole of Thorin. And really, when you sit back, this series of films isn't really about Bilbo. It's about Thorin Oakenshield, really, and they stay on that. They stay anchored on that, and what happens there, I've literally goosebumps up and down my arm. You can see them. I'm really ecstatic about this. Anyway, Mary, you just saw the trailer. Unfortunately, we saw it on a low-res version on YouTube, but your thoughts?
It'll do. Like you, I'm very excited for the trailer. I wasn't a huge fan of the first Hobbit film. I liked Smaug, Desolation of Smaug, better, and I feel like after seeing this trailer that perhaps we're in a progressive arc here where the third film is going to be the best film, and it is called the Battle of Five Armies. Dwarves be battling. I'm excited to see it. I agree with you. We were laughing about Gandalf's line, how will this day end, and how he just always gets the best lines. It does look like the world is expanded. They're above ground. There's all these mountains in the distance. It looks rangy. It looks wild, and There's huge action, huge set pieces. I'm really excited for it. I didn't think I would be, but this trailer definitely made me feel a little more anticipation for the release.
Christian?
Yeah, it's if you guys get past the whole, it's only one book. It's not, you got to get past it and realize that this is a prequel trilogy. That's really what it is.
The Shawshank Redemption was a short story, and they made a full-length feature film out of that. One of the best of all time.
And it seems to be the ongoing complaint is, and he's just stretching it out. No, he's making a prequel to his Lord of the Rings films, and you saw that through little snippets that they did throughout the film. And in this one, from this trailer, and Miri and I had turned to each other and goes, this feels like Return of the King.
Yeah.
When you look at it, even the feel of the trailer, it doesn't have that gloss that the first two Hobbit movies had, and it seems... It just has that feel. So I'm optimistic about it. I think it looks great. And then we were joking that that Gandalf has the best line in the trailer where he says the only thing you have to worry about is what happens at the end of the day, or whatever the line was. But it's along those lines. And I'm excited for it. I mean, it really feels like Lord of the Rings again. I'm just hoping that it sticks that way.
All right. Well, let's move on to the first official story of today.
It's been revealed that Fox Studios intends to campaign for a Best Supporting Actor nomination for Andy Serkis for his motion capture portrayal of Caesar in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Serkis has generated Oscar discussion in the past with his portrayal for Gollum in the Lord of the Rings films and Caesar in the previous Apes films. John, your thoughts on Fox pushing for an Andy Serkis nomination?
Well, before I get into my thoughts on it, this really should be pointed out. There was a discussion going on yesterday after the show was done about Andy Serkis, specifically here in the studio, about whether or not they'll even push for him to get an Academy Award nomination. And I thought if they do, I had heard they were going to push him for Best Lead Actor. And Christian Harloff was saying, man, I don't know. I just really feel like if they're going to do a push and they're going to push him for Best Supporting Actor. I said, I don't know, man. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's going to happen. Boom, it happened. And there it is. How do I feel about it? I'm really, really torn. And here's why I'm torn. I have argued for years that the best performance in a movie is the best performance in the movie. Much like the animated argument. I don't care. I don't like the best animated category. Best movie is the best movie. If Up is the best movie of the year, it should win Best Movie of the Year. If Ratatouille is the best movie of the year, it should win Best. I don't care if it's animated. I don't care if it's claymation. I don't care if it's a flip book. I don't care. If it's the best movie, it's the best movie. I thought Andy Serkis, and I made a case that I believe he should have gotten a Best Supporting Actor nomination for the last Planet of the Apes movie. Because of what he's able to bring. Now, what people will often say to me is, but John, there are visual effects artists who put things on top of them and do all this kind of stuff. Yes, that is true. My counter argument to that has always been, though, every actor, no actor has ever given a performance that is just them. Their final performance is a product of their individual work, what they do, the direction the director gave them to do it, the lighting that lighting people and ADs do to put on them, the costume designers who put on costumes, the makeup artists who make them look a certain way, the other actors around them who give them subjects to play off of. The bottom line is no actor is on an island. It is always a collaborative effort that is brought together and culminizes in that person. None of that is any different than with Andy Serkis, except there's a different, unique layer to it with digital artists. But if you talk to Peter Jackson, talk to all these guys, the performance and what you're seeing, if you talk to the directors of both the Planet of the Apes movies, that's all Andy Serkis with a digital costume on him. So I'm for it. But here's the other side of me. I hate that they're pushing him for Best Supporting Actor. Why? Because this makes a joke, much like the Christian Bale in The Fighter. Christian Bale was not the Best Supporting Actor. He was one of the lead actors of that film, and they knew he couldn't win the Best Lead Actor Oscar because King's Speech, Colin Firth. Colin Firth was a lock to win that. They knew we can't win against him, so let's just take him out of that and put him in the Best Supporting Actor category. It makes the Best Supporting Actor category a dumping ground. It disrespects the work that supporting actors do. This Planet of the Apes movie starts with Caesar, and it ends on Caesar. And all the way through, it is a movie about Caesar. Caesar, and Andy Serkis, is the lead actor of this movie. He just is. And for them to say, now take it, well, we know we have no chance to do something in the Best Actor. Let's take in moving into the dumping ground now that is the best. I believe it makes a travesty of the category. I think it disrespects the work of supporting actors. So while I really want him to be pushed for an Academy Award, I do not want them to break the spirit of the rules and say, everybody knows he's the lead actor, but we're going to put him where we have a chance to win. Why not just say Andy Serkis, best lighting designer? Like, why not? Maybe he has a better chance at there. To me, it bothers me, so I'm torn about it. Love it and hate it at the same time. What do you guys think?
I love it, and I think, look, a loophole is a loophole. And if you can, and for what a lot of your points I actually really agree with, but this is such a different thing because of performance capture and how where everyone's really trying to understand it. And your point, which I thought was well made, into where it's a collective, no different than any other actor, but just different. It needs to, if you got to find the best way to push this. And if it's by getting him a supporting actor nom, let's do it, because you even had Jason Clarke. You could have the argument that Koba had a pretty big scene too, but that's who I want to touch on here, is Koba. This is the reason I think he's going to get nominated. I really do think it's going to happen this year. I might be the only one. I might be on that island that you were talking about. But I think he will be nominated because of Toby Kebbell, because what people don't realize also when it comes down to Academy voting is that their peers have a lot to do with it. The acting peers. And I think that the actors are starting to realize more and more what performance capture does with performance. And I think that it was Toby Kebbell who really showed that, because everyone says, oh, that's just like an Andy Serkis thing. Andy Serkis does his thing and he's the best at it, but that's his thing. No one else is really doing that. And you saw the levels of what Kebbell did in this movie as Koba, and you went, whoa, that's not a one-man game. A lot of people with the effort and the ability and the tools of an actor can put in performances like Andy, and Toby Kebbell did it. And because of that, I think that's why Andy Serkis is getting nominated, because he's Elvis. He is Elvis of performance capture, and you remember Caesar. He's a character everyone remembers.
Yeah.
It should happen, and I think the best supporting actor. Let's make it happen.
Mary?
Yeah, you've all made great points. I think progress is a process, and I think the Academy is known for being comprised of older white dudes who have a very specific taste, and I think what's happened over the years is the Oscars have kind of alienated a huge movie-going public. I think they've often chosen period dramas and specific roles, and I think, if anything, Fox will, they'll launch this campaign, and I think the Oscars or the Academy will hopefully understand that by welcoming this and by nominating him, they're actually showing faith in the movie-going audience, and they're maybe reestablishing some broken ties there. So it would be smart for them, frankly. I think he deserves it. I agree with you that it's unfortunate that it has to be supporting, and that supporting actor category becomes kind of like a dumping ground. That said, I think performance capture is something that people are, like you said, still trying to kind of figure out. So let this be the groundbreaking moment where the Academy kind of wakes up and says, this is legitimate. Like last year with Scarlett Johansson's performance with Her, people were up in arms because she gave a wonderful performance, even though it was her voice and not technically her whole body. So again, technology is kind of impacting the way people perform, and it's changing the goalposts. And I hope he gets nominated. I think he deserves it. So yeah.
All right, let's move on to what's next.
According to a report from Deadline, Channing Tatum may be appearing in the upcoming Quentin Tarantino film, The Hateful Eight. The film begins shooting on December 8th and is described as follows. Set in snowy Wyoming a few years after the Civil War, the film focuses on the tension among a group of people trapped after a blizzard diverts a stagecoach from its route. The group includes a competing pair of bounty hunters, a renegade Confederate soldier, and a female prisoner in a saloon. Miri, what would you think of Channing Tatum in The Hateful Eight?
Well, Hollywood is a really short memory, and it was just a few years ago that people were kind of dissing Channing Tatum as a pretty face and nothing more. And I'm so thrilled that he's come into his own as an actor. I just saw Foxcatcher a few days ago. He's so great in it. I am super excited about this opportunity, this possibility, because I think he's really stretching himself as an actor. We've seen him do comedy, we've seen him do drama, we've seen him take on physically a different character. Now he's going to do a period piece by Quentin Tarantino, which is like my favorite thing, basically, and I can't wait to see if this does happen. Channing Tatum directed by Quentin Tarantino, because I think he does something with actors. He pulls something out of them that they didn't know they could do. He's done it with Uma Thurman, he's done it with John Travolta, he's done it with every actor he's ever worked with, has given a very special kind of performance when they work with him. So I feel like Channing Tatum, Quentin Tarantino, great combination. Then you add in the setting and that this is a Civil War film and it's shot through the lens of Quentin Tarantino's crazy vision. I think it's great. I'm so on board.
Christian?
How big of the role?
They said big.
Is it really big? Huh?
Yeah.
I don't really know. Yeah.
They said big.
I'm on the same page. I think, and I just saw Foxcatcher as well, and I think that it's kind of unfortunate that he's not being talked about more.
Yeah.
For his role in that.
He's kind of in Steve Carell's shadow. A bit.
He is, but he's such an intense dude, and you can tell even from interviews that he had with Jonah Hill, and Jonah Hill was like, this guy just brings it. He's transformed himself as like a respectable actor now too. I'm just worried about him being oversaturated. That's my issue. Tarantino is one you take right away and you do it. It's a Tarantino movie, and like Miri said, he will shine in that role. I just would like to pace back a little bit, because remember what happened with Natalie Portman when she was Black Swan, when all those movies just boom, boom. But so many movies just keep beating you over the head. People, it's just the way we are as a culture. We get sick of people after a little bit. So just take your time, do what you're doing, build your resume as far as being a serious actor, because he's doing it. But I'm on board. It's Tarantino.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that a few years ago, everybody just wrote him off as a pretty face. To be fair, a number of years ago, he was just a pretty face, right? But this is why I respect him so much. I mean, especially if you go to that film he did with Terrence Howard. Remember Fighter or Fighter? Oh my God, that was horrible.
Yeah. Almost sunk MMA.
He was terrible in it. Especially when you got Terrence Howard standing beside him, actually acting his ass off. That just made Channing Tatum look even worse. And I was like, this dude is terrible. And he was terrible. But he kept working, and he worked, and he worked. And then he found his niche with comedy. But while he was doing comedy and having success, you read the stories about him, he continued behind the scenes to work and work and work. And gradually you see him getting better and better. Then all of a sudden Foxcatcher comes and boom. And now a lot of us are saying, hey, don't write off this Gambit thing just yet.
Right.
I mean, but a lot of people are still, no, he's the dancing guy. It's going to be, GI up to the streets, whatever it's going to be. But now what I'm really curious to see is, once all these people who are bandwagoning, hating on the idea of Channing Tatum as Gambit, now that Quentin Tarantino has put his stamp of approval on him,
help.
Totally.
I think you're going to hear a different tune. I think now people, like with the Gambit stuff, I think people are going to become much more receptive to the Gambit. If Quentin Tarantino says, it's like what happened, the reconnaissance started before Dallas Buyers Club ever came out.
Oh, yeah.
Is when people started to realize.
Killer Joe.
Well, not only
Tropic Thunder.
but it's when it came out that Christopher Nolan has selected
right.
Matthew McConaughey to be in this upcoming movie he's got coming. All of a sudden people are like, Christopher Nolan picked McConaughey?
Right.
And then it's like, oh yeah, maybe there's something to him. I think that could happen with the Quentin Tarantino Association here. All right, folks, we've come to that part of the show for buy and sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Ashley's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down. And then those of us at the table are very quickly going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Ashley, what do we got?
Paramount Studios has officially announced that Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg will team up once again for their new comedy, Daddy's Home. Daddy's Home follows a mild-mannered radio executive, Ferrell, who strives to become the best stepdad to his wife's 2 children, but complications ensue when their freewheeling and freeloading real father, Wahlberg, arrives, forcing him to compete for the affection of the kids. The film will be directed by Sean Anders, who also directed the Adam Sandler film, That's My Boy, and the upcoming Horrible Bosses 2. Christian, buy or sell the sounds of Daddy's Home?
I'm gonna sell it for now until I see a trailer. I didn't love the other guys, and I didn't really love That's My Boy. So those 2 things right now. Am I excited about it? Not really. So for now, I'm gonna sell it. I could see a trailer. I could see the Red Band trailer if it is rated R, and change my tune immediately. But sell for me for now.
For me, it is also going to be a sell that I reserve the right to change after I see Horrible Bosses 2, because I really like Mark Wahlberg. I really like Will Ferrell. I also did not actually like the other guys all that much.
Right.
The best part of the movie ended after The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson left it. But That's My Boy is one of the most wretched, awful comedies I've seen in forever. And having the director of that attached, but I thought the trailers for Horrible Bosses 2 actually look kind of funny. So I reserve the right to change my sell into a buy after I see Horrible Bosses 2, but for now it's a sell.
Yeah, sell for me. You guys said it all. We gotta move on.
What's next?
Speaking of Mark Wahlberg, the first trailer for his new film, The Gambler, has hit the web. The film is described like this. Jim Bennett is a risk taker, both an English professor and a high-stakes gambler. He plays both sides, immersing himself in an illicit underground world while garnering the attention of Frank, John Goodman, a loan shark with a paternal interest in Bennett's future. John, buy or sell the trailer for The Gambler?
I really buy this. Wahlberg looks great in it. The story, it's got a great temperature. Jessica Lange is just a powerhouse. And I don't know why people don't get that John Goodman is a force of nature.
Yeah.
Like every time he's on screen, no matter how good or how bad the movie is, when he's on screen, you peek up and he's powerful in this trailer, man.
He looks
He's
like
really
Kingpin.
powerful.
He looks like Kingpin.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for this. For me, it's a buy.
I'm going to buy it also, and it's also Rupert Wyatt's first movie since Rise of the Planet of the Apes, so that gets me excited. The only thing that I didn't love about it, the only thing was the use of the Stones song, because it's like, oh no, people are going to compare it to a Scorsese thing, get your own song, because I don't feel it's going to be a Scorsese movie at all. But I like it. I think it looks dark. And I like how Wahlberg's demeanor the whole time, very kind of just passive, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
All right, what's next? Oh no, sorry. I
okay,
thought you started. I thought you started.
It's okay. It's okay. I buy it. I mean, I buy it for all the reasons you guys said. I have like a limbic brain response to Gimme Shelter. Whenever it plays, I'm like, yes, I'm in. So I agree with you. It has been definitely associated with Scorsese. Also, William Monahan wrote the script. He wrote The Departed, and he wrote Edge of Darkness, which I loved. I was such a big fan of that film and Mel Gibson's role. So I'm all in. They say in the poster, the only way out is all in, and I'm all in on this.
Awesome.
So, yes.
All right, now what's next?
A new trailer for the upcoming film Into the Woods has landed. The film stars Meryl Streep, Emily Blunt, Anna Kendrick, Chris Pine, and Johnny Depp, and opens in AMC theaters everywhere on December 25th. Miri, buy or sell this new trailer for Into the Woods?
I was in until the singing started. And then I was like, wah, 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 wah. I actually, the first minute of this trailer, I was like, yeah, I'm actually like getting excited to see this movie. And then they started singing, and I was like, no, please don't sing. Although I know Into the Woods has like a huge fan base. Amy Rose is one of them. She's always championing this movie. I'm definitely curious to see it, but I still have hesitation in my heart because of the singing. But you've got cast, you've got costumes, you've got fantastical blending of fairy tales, so tentative buy maybe.
I'm really crazy on this. I wholehearttedly sell this, and yet I'm going to be there opening day really curious.
Yeah.
For the trailer of Star Wars.
Yeah, well, the trailer of Star, if for nothing else.
Yeah.
I am actually incredibly curious about this film. But I'm going to admit right now, the first trailer made the mistake. It might have been you who brought this up. Maybe it was somebody else. That the first trailer was just an Expendables trailer. All it was this name, this name, this name, name. It's like, sorry, this doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
And then I saw this trailer. It's like, this isn't working for me either. Even before the singing started, and once the singing started, even then I was completely out. That's not to say the movie won't be awesome.
Yeah.
I think there is potential here. I'm very fascinated to see it. So I'll be there Christmas Day. But right now, I gotta be honest, the trailers aren't selling me any more on it. Christian?
I'll be the rogue at the table. Buy. I'm gonna buy it, and I actually do like the singing of it. And I think Rob Marshall, his last movie, I forget what it was, wasn't great from what I remember. But but Chicago is where he shined, and that was a musical. And not everybody loves musicals.
But it was a musical with fishnets. It's different.
Well, I mean, look, I happen to like musicals. I actually really like Les Mis.
A real man likes musicals.
It's true.
I love Les Mis.
I love them too.
I didn't like the trailer for not Les Mis, Moulin Rouge. I didn't like the trailers for that.
Yeah,
and Moulin Rouge is in my top 10 or top 15 all-time favorite films.
The only issue I had on this trailer was the same one that when we asked about the picture. I just think Johnny Depp looked out of place. I thought he looked out of place, and I think he just likes to look weird and eccentric to do that. Everyone else I thought looked great. Emily Blunt. I buy everything Emily Blunt does, but I buy it.
All right. Well, that will do it for Buy and Sell. Now it's time for us to get to the mailbag, folks. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Send on in your questions, and maybe you'll see it on AMC Movie Talk or maybe on AMC Mailbag. So let's get to those questions. What do we got?
Black Arrow writes, hey guys, love the show so much. I have had this question for a long time and have never gotten a proper answer. Why was Toy Story 3 nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, not Original? Thanks for your time. Lights, camera, filthy.
I'm going to give my best guess at this, and I believe original screenplays aren't based on pre-existing material.
Yep.
And a sequel, even though the franchise is original, a sequel is based on a pre-existing thing, which is the original. And so by the rules, it kind of falls under best adapted screenplay. If that is the case, I can totally see the argument why they shouldn't do that way, and I can totally see the argument why they should. I'm just glad it got nominated.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant screenplay.
Yeah.
It is based on the pre-existing characters of what they did before, so I can't argue with it being best adapted. But do you guys know anything more beyond that?
I think you're right. No, I think it's because it's based on pre-existing characters and storylines that it's considered adapted. It's a silly, weird loophole, Academy, weird stuff. But I think
agree.
You're right.
All right. What's next?
Tahmeen Rahman writes, hello, my fellow sons of AMC. Love the show and watch it every day. My question is that with DC announcing their release dates in a shareholders meeting and Green Lantern reboot not coming out until 2020, along with Cyborg, who do you think could or might take the role from Ryan Reynolds? Personally, I think Nathan Fillion would be perfect as Hal Jordan. What do you think? Agreeable? Keep up the great work and bring on the filthy.
Well, people asking about who would play Green Lantern if it's not Ryan Reynolds, that's been asked a million times.
Hilarious.
A lot of people say, a lot of people asking Nathan Fillion for Green Lantern.
No.
That's been around for years and years and
He's
years.
way too old.
Well, that's the point, is that I think an argument could have been made for Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern when the original came out. Yay, even today, I think you can make an argument for starting off a new Green Lantern with Nathan Fillion today.
Right.
In 2020, Nathan Fillion is going to be 50 years old.
Yeah.
Or he's 49 and a half, 50, whatever. He's going to.
He'll be 50-ish.
He'll be 50-ish, which I will still put him, if I'm producing a movie, I will put him in anything. I don't care. He can play Martin Luther King, he can play a Smurf, he can play whatever he wants. He can play Justin Bieber in a biopic. I'm all in. But I've said this before, I don't know that you can start a superhero, especially one that will call on a lot of physicality.
Yeah.
This isn't like Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man, where most of the action is animated action.
It's robotics.
This is actually him. He's got to be in that great shape. I don't know that you can start a Green Lantern with an actor at 50. I mean, if he started today, could he still be Green Lantern until he was 52, 53, 54? Yes, but can you start with it at 50? I don't know.
Comments are going to start popping up and say, well, what about Ben Affleck? The difference is that Ben Affleck...
He's already Batman.
Well, but that's
And it's
what
starting-
I, but
yeah,
that's what
it's
I mean.
starting now.
But that's what I mean. He's older. He's starting now, but he's also he's older. He's like 5 years older than Nathan, I think, or 4 years old.
I think he's 1 year old.
yeah,
Is he 1 year old?
Yeah,
Whatever.
Nathan's 43 right now.
Okay, whatever it is the fact that, and also that story that they're telling with the Dark Knight,
Yeah, he's
it
older.
calls for him to be
The
older.
character's supposed to be
Right,
that, yes.
and with a character that did not deliver in the last Green Lantern, you need him to be younger because you want to really establish. Batman doesn't need to be established.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
established already. This guy needs to be established. You need a younger actor, and I don't think whoever does play him has been established yet. I think it's going to be an unknown that eventually, like Chadwick
Well,
Boseman.
it's 2020. I mean, you have to remember Hollywood functions in like dog years. Like 2020.
Yeah.
Who knows who's going to be big then? Who knows who's going to be on Warner Brothers' radar? So it's a fun question, but at the same time, it's so far out that it's really kind of impossible to place anybody in that role yet.
But
I feel like.
not necessarily.
I know where you're going with this. I was about to say the
Not
same
Not necessarily
thing.
because if he pops up in whether it be a cameo in Batman v Superman, which probably won't happen, but in a Justice League movie or
Right.
Wonder Woman, something that comes out next 2 years,
Right.
you might need to cast somebody that's around today.
Yeah, and like if that's going to happen, you're going to start using Green Lantern now.
Right.
And culminates in like the Green Lantern movie. Then the discussion, I admit, changes a little bit. But on its face value, starting a Green Lantern standalone series in 2020, I think that puts Fillion out of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he ain't too old to go back to Serenity, I'm just saying. All right, folks, that will do it for us. So we don't have any time today because of the Star Wars stuff and the Hobbit thing dropping. We don't have time to go to your live questions. We will make sure we do that tomorrow, though. Thanks a lot for joining us. And don't forget, lots of great films playing at AMC Theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. You can even catch Big Hero 6 and Interstellar tonight. Just head on over to that website and get your tickets, and you might be seeing an AMC spoilers review for Interstellar dropping tonight and tomorrow, so keep your eye open for that. Don't forget, if you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of this video and you'll find a link to our iTunes feed so you can listen to us on your way to work or at the gym. And don't forget to click the thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. I want to thank the people sitting at the table with me. First of all, sitting right here, Mr. Christian Harloff. Christian, the guy who was right about supporting actor. Where can people find you online?
Jedi Council coming back. Very excited about that. And with the new title, go to Twitter at Christian Harloff and tell me if you like or dislike the name of the title. Really curious.
And of course, sitting right over there, Mary the Jedi. Mary, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mary the Jedi and in your mind.
And of course, our lovely host today, Miss Ashley Mova. Ashley, where can people find you?
Twitter, Instagram at Ashley Mova. Happy Thursday, guys.
And you can find me on the various social media networks just at John Campia. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name is John Campia for AMC Movie News, and until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.